Hey everyone, thank you again for joining us on another episode of the Liverpool Connection podcast. This is PubChat. We're at our favorite Irish pub here in Austin, Texas, B.D. Riley's, where they pour the best pint of Guinness and Guinness
It's
Zero.
not a pint, though.
Oh, wee pints and full pints. Well, we wanted to show all the stuff
Right,
that
all the sizes.
The Zero,
Big selection.
Guinness Zero that Jonno is drinking today. Hate to call you out for that, but it's a work day. Wednesday kickoff.
Got to keep this finely tuned machine in
Right.
perfect.
That's right. Well, I'm glad because Liverpool is about to call you up if we didn't get a result today. But 2-0 victors over the Wolves today. Seems like we've played them every other day for the past month. But fourth shutout in the league on the bounce. So as we get into the game, we have Jonno here. You guys all know them. Vitaly is our special guest today. So before we get into the game, let's talk about the lineups. We had the two teenagers start on the opposite sides of Fabinho today. I was kind of concerned about that just because of the form of Fabinho here recently, but I thought it worked. Fabinho probably played his best game in a while, Jonno.
Yeah, good game from Fabinho. Almost the whole game, I thought he was really solid, was getting to balls that he wasn't getting to previously in the season. Don't know what's happened, but long may that continue. On the midfield, I thought Elliott started pretty well too. He was all over the place. Maybe there's a couple of things later on that it wasn't perfect, but it was pretty good all round from the midfield. Maybe they were a little more conservative first half. We didn't create a whole lot, but I thought the midfield did really well.
Another change, Vitaly, was bringing Tsimikas in for Rabo over there on the left. Yep. And Tsimikas, I think they were saying he has only started 5 games the whole season, so he hasn't really played a lot. And so that was a big call from the gaffer to bring him in, obviously with an eye towards Manchester United this weekend. How do you think that worked out and for the team, the structure today?
Well, he played a good game. Tsimikas played a good game. He's he's always, I feel like, a reliable option. Before I go too much into him, I do want to touch base on Fabinho because when the game began and he had the chance to the pass that he wanted to square off to Nunes, and it was such a weak pass that it didn't get to Nunes, and it was early in the game, and I think we were all kind of like thinking like, oh, here comes another bad Fabinho performance. What's wrong with him? Like, is it something mental? Is it something? And it was kind of like creeping up in all of our minds. Like, okay, here we go again. And after that, he didn't put a foot wrong in this game, and I Jonno said, he played to me his best game maybe of the season, but his best game that it feels like an eternity. And I think Klopp and Linger, they call him the lighthouse. Yep. And I think today, like, we remembered how important it is when he's on. It's just like we're a much different side, and hopefully, like, it's too early, but let's hope that against United we get one of these Fabinho performances. But like you said about Tsimikas, it's Robertson. He runs 100 miles an hour for 90 minutes. Like, if we can get him a rest, it's always welcomed. And when somebody comes in for him and steps up like Tsimikas did today, what can you say about that? So it's a very, very, very good performance by the Greek Scouser. So
you're talking about that Fabinho play when he tried to slide that over, right? The one thing that concentrate on is look how high he won that ball inside their 18, and really he hasn't been able to do that because he's been kind of cognizant that he hasn't been fit. So he's always worried about the counter, right? If he misses that tackle, they're going, and for him to be that high, making the tackle there in their own box, and then the pass was a little off, but I was like, okay, he has a little bit more in his engine today, and hopefully that would be a good thing for the rest of the game. And I thought he played well. We go back to Elliott Bagzetić. Bagzetić gets that early yellow. I think outside of our players and their players, I think Paul Tierney really did a disservice to the game by giving Bagzetić that yellow early on for really a very innocuous foul, because then there were so many more fouls after that were more egregious, and he was so inconsistent. And I think that's why he's consistently one of the lower rated refs in the league. But kudos to Bagzetić again, playing another game where he gets a yellow early and he manages it. Right, and he's still making tackles. He's running around. And
at 18 years old, when you have to play a whole game on a yellow card, it's not very easy to do, knowing that opposition knows that you're on a yellow card and they're going to try to do anything to get you another yellow. And he played a very mature game after that, and I think he keeps growing in front of our eyes, and that's something that that's another big plus from today, is like just to see how he keeps maturing into the side. So
another change that Klopp made today was in the front line, where giving Gakpo a rest, who has played every game since we've bought him, and to bring in Jota, Nunez staying on the left, Jota, Salah, and for long periods of that game, it didn't seem like it was working. I don't really know what the problem was, but it did click. And again, Agent Chaos Nunez, he's just the guy that he has so many naysayers about him, but he creates. He's always somebody that the defense has to account for. His pace, his willingness to drive forward, take chances. A lot of them don't come off, but as you guys know, as a forward, you only need one or two to come off, right?
Right. Yeah, I was a little worried about that when I saw the lineup too, because I felt like I was frustrated earlier when Klopp had put Gakpo in the middle very initially, and then Nunez comes back and he puts Gakpo out left, so I was like, if you want to play Gakpo in the Bobby role, let's just keep Nunez out there. I like that too. And then I was worried it was going to switch back again with Jota going left, but no, Jota played mostly in the middle. They were switching around a bit. So I was glad to see that, because I think Nunez just gets – you saw it again when he picked that ball right up on the touchline one time today, and he's got two guys on him, and he still manages to skip over a guy, almost gets across through to Mo. So I like the fact that starting out wide gives him the chance to build up that speed and go at people. Thought Jota was maybe a little quiet, but then just as we were sort of talking about, maybe he needs to come out for Gakpo, he creates the next two chances. One that should have been a goal, with just a run from nowhere, and then obviously plays the great ball back in for Van Dijk for the actual opening goal. So good to see Jota kind of really contribute well. It took him a little while, but that's fine. And Nunez again, just outstanding. I thought Mo still seems like his touches, gets a goal, which is great. That'll be good for him. Still feel like his crosses, his touches, his interplay, still a little bit off. But, teams, he's fit, and we know he's reliable, and so I think Klopp is going to play him for that reason.
And even in the end with Mo, it's when he got in the box, and he was like, the chance was begging for him to curl it inside, and he didn't go for it. And that's one thing you're like, oh, Mo doesn't go for that, and that's kind of where but like you said, even when he's kind of like this, some ends up in a score sheet, and and that's Mo. You'll look it back at the end of the season, and he'll lead the league in goals, and he'll be right up there with any in a statistical category, and I think that's the testament to how he just shows up sometimes. He can have the great ones, they have a quiet match. And then, still show up in the right moment at the right time, make the right pass. And today, overall performance, I would agree with you, and absolutely not the Mo Salah that we all love, but got a goal, and
it's a goal.
It's a goal. It's a goal.
Well, to defend Salah a little bit, he's playing with the different partners up front and the midfield almost every single game. I don't know if we fielded the same team, twice in a row, very often this season. Another person that came in the lineup, Konate. And I thought he brought some presence in the back. And, and let's be honest, right, that we're playing against a Wolves team that scored, 18 goals in the league the whole season?
Right.
So they're not a very prolific scoring team. But they scored, we gave them one, but they scored two others against us last time. So to come back and get the shutout, and really – you have the XG stats. I mean, you know them. They're what, Jonno?
It was about 2.7 for us, and I think maybe 0.9 or something for them.
Right. So I mean, we really dominated that game in a lot of areas, right? So Konate coming back in, adding some defense to the back. I still think Van Dijk, he's still concerned about who he's partnering with sometimes, and I don't think he has the full confidence to really go into tackles. Without knowing who he's playing with, right? Whether we Robbo or Gomez, Matip, there's a different partner for him every game. It seems like. So I think if we can get some continuity out of that defense, I thought Trent played a lot better today. He wasn't He played good defensively, and he did create some stuff on the offense as well. So, as we go into the second half, it's 0-0, and we're all begging for changes, and Klopp waits till the 70th minute to make changes, and just wonder,
Well, part of me,
let's bring some game changers on.
Yeah, part of me was thinking about who we had on the field and who we had on the bench, and part of me was like you, kind of thinking, it's not going to happen. We need changes. But the other part of me was like, there's a lot of people I didn't want to take off just because of the pace of Nunes and Salah. I didn't want them off because Badger and Fabinho were doing really well. I thought maybe Elliott, maybe Jota. But like I said, just as I was thinking, maybe Jota needs to come off. He starts ramping it up and was excellent. So I can sort of understand in this game a little bit why he was waiting. Plus, the game had got really chippy for a little bit in that second half, and it was hard to tell what was gonna be effective. I mean, I think Wolves were deliberately just trying to make it chippy, honestly, and slow the whole thing down.
And like to what you're saying, with Klopp, sometimes like we watch games and sometimes like 70th minute and he doesn't make changes, and it kind of gets frustrating. You want him to make changes, but it's his belief in the players that he has on the field that sometimes it backfires on him a little bit. But I think today, credit to him, because he kept Jota on. And I was watching with my buddies, and I was saying like, all right, we need Jota come off, Gakpo come on, but he kept him long enough for Jota to, like you said, should have gotten the first goal, but created an assist for Van Dijk. And I think today is like one of those things, like it definitely showed like why he sometimes like that belief in his players and who he is on the pitch. And I completely agree with you. As much as we were all watching, like, okay, Jota is not fully 100% yet. Maybe bring Gakpo on. He's been kind of finding his form, and today's was one of those, like one of those instances where I'm glad he didn't make those changes in time. I'm glad it did give him a little bit more time, and and then we got the ceremonial Milner appearance when it's 2-0 up.
As soon as we scored, and everybody's like, maybe Milner.
You know what? We got one game in hand and 6 points back in fourth place with over 10 matches to play. Who would have? Let's not count out our chances here. So let's just a big one coming up on Sunday, and I don't know if you want to like touch on that in a bit, but like that's the one that. They're in good form.
Yeah, we'll do that podcast on the Manchester United preview. We'll send that out on our next show. But like you alluded to, that was one of the games in hand. We still have another one, behind Spurs. So right now we're 6 points. They're in fourth place, so we still have the game in hand, and we're going to be battling for fourth place. And for those that wrote the team off 2 months ago, you have to keep faith in that these quality players are going to start coming back. They're going to get some form. Obviously Jota took him a couple games to get his feet, but he played excellently today, and I think that builds upon that. And Konate coming back in the lineup. So anyway, 3 points, 2-0 at home, always a good result. So I think that's it, right?
Can't ask for much more right now.
Not much to do for Ellison today.
Yeah,
I can't even remember one early on when what was it, like almost a bicycle kick assist that went right, but that's about it.
Yeah, and so comprehensive, I thought, but 3 points in the bag. So thank you guys for joining us. Subscribe, like, comment, put your notifications on, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for hanging out, bro. Thank you. Yeah, can you press stop on that video?